Hey podcasters, in this episode, I'm sharing something that we're doing right now in March 2020. This is an emergency episode, okay guys? Now, I'm sharing something that all of you guys need to know right now that are interested in business, entrepreneurship, property investment, cash flow hacks, and everything else to keep your business going, to keep your business thriving, to keep the cash flow coming in, keep the walls from the door, and hopefully grow and scale and build an even bigger successful business at this terrible time. So what I'm sharing with you in this episode is something I've never done before, and it's the strategies, it's the tactics that we're using right now in my business today. We wasn't using these a week, a month, 3 months ago. We haven't used some of these for nearly a decade, okay? So we're using these strategies right now because they work and only work right now in the market that we're in. So this particular strategy I'm taking you deep inside now is it's how that any of you guys can go out now straight after this episode and find HMO properties, student properties, okay, below the market value. Now, I'm talking about up to 75% below the market value. That's right, up to 75% below the market value. That's what we've secured. There's no reason why you guys can't secure these. That's a huge discount, but you have to be quick on the timing. So enjoy this episode, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. The big question, my friends, is this. How did I buy over 200 high cash flowing properties since the millennium using the best no money down strategies from planning gains, refurbs, off plan, guaranteed rent, lease options, student lets, service accommodation, HMOs, negative equity, and dozens more to build a multi-million pound property portfolio and then lose everything, including my wife, my children, all of my money and my liberty, when I was sent to prison for a crime committed by a lifelong friend, and then start over in £175,000 of debt, and now in 2020 have to restructure my entire companies and fast, using the most up-to-date high cash flowing strategies to pull my company, my partners, and my listeners through this economic crash. I'm Ryan Otto, and this top-rated business podcast will give you all the answers. This is an emergency episode that I'm doing for you guys right now in 2020 because where we are right now is very tough. It's very difficult times, okay? Now, I don't know anyone who's not struggling. I don't know anyone whose life and business has not been impacted by, negatively I mean, by what's going on. Yes, there is some people that are winning or temporarily winning, like everybody needs a smartphone, okay? Or everyone's got a smartphone, so everyone needs information. So everyone is more or less sitting at home looking for information. So that's a business which is growing, okay? People are ordering things online more than ever. So obviously that's another area which is expanding right now. We're not sure how long that will go on for, if people run out of money and that dries up, etc. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe some of you guys will know the answer to that better, who are in e-commerce or, you study the economy or statistics about growth and contraction. I would love to hear your thoughts if you've got any opinions on that as well. Maybe we could even get you on the show to help other people. Now, because of what's happening, there's some tactics, there's some strategies which my company has now changed to be doing. Just to give you guys a bit of a background, I've obviously been buying, selling, building, trading, developing, converting, chopping up, expanding, splitting, using lease options, using delayed completions, guaranteed rent contracts, rent-to-rent contracts, leases, options. So many property strategies that we've been using since the year 2000 or 1999. So say early 2000s when I bought my first investment property. So obviously been through the peaks and the troughs, even the 2008 crash where you had to just shift your mindset and just, shift the strategies and do something different, okay? So what I want to give you on this episode right now is some emergency tactics, some things that we're doing right now that we couldn't do 3 months ago, or we couldn't do 6 months ago, or we wasn't doing a year ago, and we haven't used many of them. Some we've used recently, but on a smaller scale, only because there's limited people that would accept that type of transaction in that climate when the market was good and it was growing, and there was limited people who would be motivated enough or in a position that they would agree some flexible terms along the lines of what I'm about to discuss, how you can go out, secure property, buying it or renting it, and having the opportunity to control it without buying it. So no mortgage deposit. You don't need any credit, so it doesn't matter if you've got any blemishes on your credit because of what's happening right now. There's going to be millions of people with blemishes on their credit. Don't worry about that, okay? But these strategies I'm sharing in this episode will completely take you away from needing any credit, needing a mortgage deposit, putting the mortgage deposit in, buying a property the conventional way, using a solicitor all of those things are just completely taken away, okay? So this tactic, which is one of probably a dozen tactics which we're using right now and helping the people we're working with so they can grow their business, keep the cash flow coming in, expand, increase, how many people that they're helping, and extend their message, and just weather the storm as well. Some people, it's just a case of just weathering the storm. Right now, the problems are challenges, and maybe even as bad as keeping the wolves from the door and feeding their family, and being able to meet the monthly bills. That really is the case for some people right now, which is understandable with exactly what's going on. They could have been thriving 2 months ago, and now they're really struggling. So I hope this content in this episode helps you guys, just to make you think a little bit differently about, instead of panicking, what is available now, what you can do now when you have access to the right information, which I'm delivering to you guys, and having the support and the confidence that comes from, being part of a community, or, being active online in other communities, or, being part of my community here, where you'll get support and you'll get the confidence to help you build the momentum. And I'll explain a little bit later about how you guys, can get more involved and join the community in that sense, okay? So you have all the support that you need. Now, this is a strategy where you can secure properties below the value, right? This is not buying them. You don't have to buy them. There's another episode which I'm going to record for you guys, which is if you're going to buy them the conventional way, okay? That's a different episode. It's a different strategy we're using right now. But this episode is about how you can go and rent a property right now, and it's way below the market value, and how you can also go and rent a student property, which is way below the market value. And again, renting any particular property, which is way below the market value. But the particular properties that I'm sharing with you guys in this episode, the ones you should be looking for, are the ones that have the potential to get a much higher uplift. So these are, for argument's sake, shared properties, okay? Already licensed HMOs. I'm not saying to you guys, go out and rent a property and then spend several £1,000s and apply to the council and all this other crap and shenanigans to go and get a license and change the article, if it's an Article 4 area, and do you need to get planning permission? Forget that crap. Don't make it hard for yourself. This is about quick. This is about getting in and out fast. Forget all of that crap. You don't need to do all of that right now. This is a shortcut. And there is some shortcuts you could take, okay? Things take long to build, but the window of opportunity is now. So this is a shortcut where you guys can let the landlord or let the owner convert the property from a house to a shared house. Let the owner put the main smoke alarms in. Let the owner do the fire doors, okay? Let the owner do all of those things, and they're already done. You're looking for a particular type of property right now in 2020, or in March 2020, as the coronavirus is still growing. I'm sharing with you guys what properties, the exact ones for you to go out and find where all this is done. So you're literally just renting the property from them that's already up and running as a fully functional licensed HMO, right? It's about being quick and getting in striking while the iron's hot. Okay, so we're going to be going through how to rent a property up to 75% below the market value, student properties, HMOs. And the thing is, right now in the market where we are is the only time that you can get these deals, right? It's the only time that you can get these deals. Many people will see this or hear about this episode or read the title of this episode or maybe see a post on social media where I'm trying to, share this with as many people as possible so they come back and listen to this episode and they'll be like, who is this guy talking crap, hating these keyboard cowboys? Just sitting at home, typing away, idiot, liar, that can't be done, that's against the law. What about this? HMO that, all of that crap. Anyway, forget them. Put them in the bin. Silence them. Put them on mute. Block them. Whatever you need to do. Just forget them, okay? So when they see this title, that's what they're going to believe, okay? But we are doing these deals. We've been doing these deals in a different market as well because there's a window which I'm about to explain where this strategy works in a window at a particular time, which we exhausted last year. We didn't think it's going to come back again until around the end of the summer, about probably about August, September, October, November. That's when this works. There's a peak of when it works, and it just completely disappears. Doesn't work again until a year later, next year, okay? That's this particular strategy. But we've exhausted it back then, at the end of the year last year, from about September, August, September. And now, because of what's happened, which is terrible, I understand, it's the coronavirus. There's people which are sick. There's people that are dying. And I think that is terrible. That's horrendous to even think about that. At the same time, it's still okay to be in business and to be fair and to build your company and provide for your family at this time. Maybe you make so much money out of this and this strategy and this tactic that you do some good for your neighbor. Maybe you do something good for somebody else who's less fortunate than you. So it's not good. I keep seeing it online on social that people are saying you can't profit from what's happening right now. And it's wrong to sell things and it's wrong to, profit and launch these things. However, business goes on. People still need to provide and feed their families. The wheels of the world and the economy keep turning, or they will keep turning. Obviously, they've stalled at the moment, but they will keep turning. So it's still okay to make money and build a company. It's not okay if people are buying up all the tissue and sanitizers and then selling that for 10 times the price, and the mask and the gloves. That's not right, okay? But actually, that really does piss me off thinking about it. People that are buying the sanitizers, buying all the masks in bulk, and then selling them online for 5, 10, 20 times the amount, cashing in on the coronavirus, that is horrendous. You need to point those people out and name and shame those people, okay? And Amazon, I believe, is blocking them from listing. I think eBay's done something similar, which is absolutely fine. That's disgusting. That's actually disgraceful. When I think about that, it gets me, quite upset that people are dying. They need access to that stuff, and it's all gone because some opportunist has bought all of it and selling it 10 times or 20 times or 30 times the amount. That's just not right. A little rant there. Okay. So this works right now. It's only right now in this market where there's rock bottom prices, okay? So you can do one of two things. You can panic like the rest of the market and watch the TV and watch the news and just sit back in your house during this quarantine that's about to happen or has happened, depending on when my team puts this episode out. I don't know when or if that's happening, the quarantine in England, but assuming they follow the rest of the world and Europe, that's happening, okay? So I don't know if you'll be in quarantine or at home or lockdown, etc. But if you are, you've got two options. Panic and do nothing, or prepare. Educate yourself. Listen to these episodes. Listen to all of my episodes. Consume as much of my content as possible. It's bloody free. It's free. 100% free. There's no guru here charging £10,000 for some mentorship to get the same information, or to give you, or to start at the end with the £10,000 training package where I'm giving you everything I'm giving you now, and then going backwards to how can I now take that backwards to a £2,000 training. Okay, I need to extract £8,000 worth of value. So I'm going to give them less about the info and less about this and less of that. And I won't go deep into that. And I'll hold that bit back and I won't tell them this. That's the 2,000 going backwards. And then how can I give them the £500 package or the 497? Right, now I need to extract another 1,500 from that of value. So I'll take away that thing, I'll take away that thing, I'll take away that. I won't give them that little nugget they need. I won't give them that, the unlock they need. I won't give them the, the website they need to go to actually make this happen. I won't give them, the mistakes that I made. Okay, that's that package. So I've got the big one, the 10,000 mentorship. Now I've got the 2,000 mentorship. Now I've got the 500 mentorship. Now how can I get the £97 one? The £97 one. Well, I know what. I'll just give them the tiniest little bit with everything stripped back and just whack in some bonuses, which I don't really want anyway, just to justify the £97 package. So then they buy the 97, then they're in, then I sell them the rest, which I didn't give them. I didn't give it to them at the start. So now I can get them up to the 497. This is how, obviously, some of the gurus get you in the funnel that are more or less just selling information because they can't actually do it, or they tried to do it and they failed. And they would rather just sell the information and not do the deal. So read some books and read some posts online and follow what other people actually doing the deals, follow the people actually doing the deals, and then, extract some stuff from their content and put that into their training program. That's what some of them do. They do. It's very bad. And many of you guys will know this. But it does take for you to be or go around the block or go around the circuit or be involved or buy something decent from someone who is genuine, a training program for argument's sake, and then realize now you're in the circle. Before you was in the circle, you didn't know. Now you're in the circle, now you know. He's a shark, this one's a shark, that one's a shark, and then it turns out that you find the package, or you find the right people that you're looking for. All right? Good. So I've got an audience. I'm standing here right now, right in the window, filming this in one of my flats because I'm just in between some meetings and I've just come here because it's quiet and it's empty right now to film some podcast episodes. And there's a big bay window at the front. I've got the headphones on. I've got the mic here. I've got the laptop set up. I've got a chair on the table. I'm standing up. I'm going to take a picture of this so you can see this setup in a moment, guys. I like to do these podcasts standing up. You can see. Yeah, so I'm full of energy, pumped, and some people are walking past right now, and they're looking in and standing there watching me, thinking, this guy, is he on the TV? Is he a news reporter? Is he, I don't know, reported on something about coronavirus? Has it happened in the house? Is there a problem? Is it an isolation unit? What's going on? And they're standing there watching. Anyway, we're going to carry on. I'll digress slightly. So yeah, this is completely free. So you guys sitting at home right now or commuting somewhere or wherever you are, if you've got headphones, consume as much of my content as possible. It's 100% free in this podcast. It's going to help you drive your business forward, help you unlock some strategies we're using right now that you may have not even thought of before. It might take you 10 years or another cycle, or even if it took you a year or even 3 months to hear about these from somebody else, off of somebody else, from somebody else who's actually using these strategies because they've heard me using them and they've heard me talking about them online and they've seen my top rated business podcast get up to number 11 in the charts, maybe higher soon. And they're too late. They could be too late. It's as simple as that. So I want all of you guys to act fast, okay, to consume this as much as you can so I can help drive you forward, keep the cash flow coming in, keep the money coming in, and just help you guys at the same time. So I don't want you to panic. Profit is okay. Profit is okay. So you're probably thinking, well, how does this work? Let me explain how this works. There's a few landlords right now which will be worrying. They will be panicking. Now, the reason why they will be panicking is because we've already had the Brexit hangover and all the shenanigans that comes with that. And now, so less people here, more people selling, etc. I'm not, you guys know what's happening with Brexit. I'm not going to waste too much time on that, but more people not wanting to be in the UK, leaving. And, not as many people wanting to rent properties to push the prices up, and then the Brexit aftermath, etc. And now the position is, I've got more audience, I've got more people, spectators. And now the position is the coronavirus. With the coronavirus, obviously, there may be a lockdown, or there is some constraints and some restrictions where people can't go out, people can't travel, and with the people not being able to go to work. Not being able to go to work is the problem. Now, so many people are living week to week or month by month, which means the companies that go bust, their employees, where do they go? There's not many jobs around now. So they're sitting at home, not working. Their tenants which will be earning money from a job to pay the rent. That's all coming to a grinding halt. I don't know how far it's going to go. America says it's going to be a 25 or 30, I think 25% of the population unemployed. That's what they're predicting because of this. It could be a lot worse. It could be 30, it could be 40, it could be 60%. Who knows how far it will go or how long this will take, and what companies are left. So landlords are very nervous because there's not many tenants, okay? Or the tenants haven't got the money now when I say not many tenants. So there is tenants, but they haven't got the money they had before. So that is putting the pressure on rents to go down. They're only going down. Look at the stock market. What's happened? The stock market has just completely crashed. Property prices will follow. I want to be historically correct when you guys... or I look back in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years time and to see where we are in the cycle, property prices will go down. Rents will go down. Not sure how far they will go down. I do think there will be a crash. I do believe that there will be a crash in rents and in property values. And that's because the people are unemployed. The government, when the government steps in to put rent controls in place, which they're doing right now, which is bolstering up the problem, which is shoring up the problem, which is helping the people renting that have now, lost their jobs, saying you cannot be evicted for X amount of time. At the moment, that's 3 months. It may be extended. It may go on longer and longer. But if you're a landlord and you've got a tenant in the property paying the rent, now the government has stepped in to say, Mr. Landlord, you cannot evict that tenant for 3 months. So that would mean the average eviction takes about 5 months of a rent-free period to go to the court to apply to evict them. So if they're saying you cannot do it for 3 months, that obviously means, well, either way, it could just be the 5 months has gone down to 3 months, or it could be the 3 months is now added on top of the 5 months, which could mean if the tenant's lost their job and they've got protection from eviction just for 3 months been handed out like that, which I understand, some people need that, but it's not good for the landlord, then it's going to take either 3 months of no rent, or it's going to be 5 months of no rent plus 3 months of no rent. So 8 months of no rent. Landlord's nightmare, landlord's worst fear, what keeps them up at night is the thought of evicting a tenant. The thought of a tenant not paying them the rent so they can then meet their mortgage payments. This is what's going on right now in landlords' minds, okay? So what I want you to think about is that, first of all, when you think, well, how am I going to get properties below the market value? How am I going to get properties already done, fire alarms, smoke alarms, fire doors, etc., HMOs at 75% below the market value? How can it be up for 4,000 and I get it for 1,000? How's that possible? It is possible because I'm doing it right now. And I've done it at the end of last year recently, but at the end of last year, I did it at a different window in time. And I got a large portfolio of these HMOs, fully licensed properties, okay? Fully licensed HMOs at rock bottom prices, up to 75% below. I went out shopping for them using this particular strategy and nothing else to build that portfolio. And now that portfolio is obviously, it's under threat as well, as you can imagine, thinking about it, because depending on the types of contracts that I've now issued to the tenants, I could be faced with that problem at the same time. So we've had to restructure things and realign things as well in my business to ensure that that doesn't happen to us. Or if it does, we've got contingency plans in place, okay? Because right now it's difficult times, but this is my truth. We're living this right now. We're changing our strategies. We're adapting our strategies. We're sitting down with the lawyers in the room, barristers, to work out how we can make this new system work in the new world that we live in. We done it in 2007, 2008, when the market crashed. We couldn't get any finance, and it was like, right, there's no finance. We rely on buying up whole sites of properties and chopping them up and selling them to investors in packages. I had a team of 12 people, qualifiers, closers, loaders, sourcers, finders, admin people, accountants, mortgage brokers in my office, etc. And the law firm we're working with went from like somewhere around 7 staff to about 40 members of staff. Not all because of the instructions my company was sending them, but we were buying and we were selling and we were flipping and we were trading and we were building and developing lots and lots of properties. Hey podcasters, now you guys know that I share a ton of tactics, a ton of strategies and information that's actionable on this show, all in aid to help you get a step closer to everything that you want. And I know that many of you guys have some questions about those exact tactics and strategies that I share. Now, because I want to give my listeners as much value as possible, I'm answering all of your burning questions on the next show. If you want your questions answered, all you need to do is tweet me at RyanOttoX or DM me on Instagram at RyanOttoX. You can either message me on LinkedIn /Ryan Otto, or you can even find me Ryan Otto on TikTok. Now, I know that human beings are complicated, especially when our own beliefs can hold us back from what's right in front of us. Now, because you know what it's like, we can sometimes have all of the information that we need, but the confidence that we need to execute on that tactic or that strategy may only come from asking the right or deeper questions and then having them answered, which is the unlock. Now, that's why I want to give you as much value as possible by answering all of your burning questions. Now, you can find me on any social platform that you're on by searching Ryan Otto and just ask away. And I will answer them for you on the next show. One site had 52 units on, okay? You can imagine how many transactions we were giving to the lawyers, okay? So, so sitting down with those guys now and the partners to work out new structures and new ways to make this work so we're protected at the same time as growing our businesses, okay? So that's what I'm here for, to help you guys and share what we're doing right now in my company to weather the storm, to change these strategies, because we've got, hell of a lot of tenants as well. So we're still faced with the same problems that other landlords are faced with. It's just we're doing things differently and changing things and, evolving quickly to ensure that if all of our tenants, for argument's sake, got this payment holiday, didn't pay the rents to us for 3 months or couldn't get evicted for 3 months, we can still keep going. That's what we're doing, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys right now. So, motivated landlords. If the landlord has got the property on the market right now to rent or it's vacant, they're motivated. Now, they're motivated because they need the rent coming in, okay? They need the rent coming in. Just imagine, if they could get a payment holiday, but they've got no rent coming in, they're back to neutral. Nothing coming in, nothing to pay. That's just how the normal world would have worked 1 month ago as a landlord. Tenant pays the rent to the landlord. Landlord pays the the rent that he just received to the mortgage company, okay? And maybe takes a tiny little bit off the top, 100, maybe £200 a month, if that, after maintenance costs and voids and fees and all that stuff, and tax, okay? So now they're put back to neutral. So they could get the payment holiday from the mortgage company, and they're not collecting any rent from the tenants because they got a payment holiday, okay? So they're sort of back to neutralish. Now just imagine the property's empty, right? Now they're not collecting any money at all. And they're thinking, hold on a minute. If I find a tenant, how is it going to work with this government thing that's coming now, the sanctions, where I can't evict them? So every tenant they're looking at, they're looking like, hold on a minute. This it's just pointless renting the property out. I'm going to have to leave it empty because this person is going to come along and move in and be in the same position as the rest of the world, where there will be, leveraging the not paying the rent for 3 months. And then I'm just locking myself into a problem, locking myself into an eviction. So these guys are scratching their heads, not knowing what to do. What they would love is if somebody could come along, rent the property from them, and guarantee by using a different type of contract that they would not get that rent reduction, that they would not have to be evicted, that they would be renting it outside the Housing Act. If you rent it outside the Housing Act, you're not protected on an AST. Now, that's what my company does, that's what we do, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys right now. So simultaneously, what you enter into with the landlord is a contract that would say it's outside the Housing Act. So now the landlord is happy that he doesn't ever have to evict you. It's just like a hotel agreement or a management agreement. If the notice is 1 month, the notice is 1 month. If it's 1 week, the notice is 1 week. There's no eviction. Now, the contract you would issue, or what we're issuing to our tenants, okay, which we have been in the past, and we are doing a lot more of them now, probably all this way if we can, is a different contract, which is either a license to rent the property, or it's like a holiday let agreement up to a certain period of time. Now, when you do that, it falls outside of the Housing Act. So you can still have the confidence, you guys, to bridge the gap by knowing that you can go out and talk to landlords and find landlords that are advertising a property which was £1,250 a month 3 months ago, and they're, nervous, so they would accept, 7, 8, 9, 6, 500, maybe even less, knowing that you're going to guarantee with the contract it's outside the Housing Act, okay? So then they have the security. And then you do the same in the tenant that you find. You would issue the same contract or similar contract to the tenant, which is outside the Housing Act. A license, a holiday rental agreement, a hotel per night agreement, or obviously for a month or 3 months or 2 months or 6 weeks at a time, okay? So just thinking differently is exactly what we're doing right now in my business. Now, that's the conventional properties. I'm talking about the HMOs. I'm talking about the student properties. Now, what we did with the student properties and the HMO properties, which you guys can also do right now because it works, is if you imagine a HMO is originally maybe a 3-bedroom house. So it's a 3-bedroom house in whatever city that you're in, and it might have rented for, say, £1,000 a month as 3 bedrooms. It's got 2 reception rooms, it's 3 bedrooms. When they turn that into a HMO, okay, then you can usually make a bigger room smaller. You can usually lose the dining rooms or the reception rooms by just turning them into bedrooms. So now you've gone from 3 to 5 bedrooms, okay? Now, if you can imagine, there's now 5 bedrooms that can have 5 tenants in, sometimes more. So let's just say 5. Now it's gone from a local market rent of, say, £1,000 as a 3-bedroom house to the HMO that the landlord has spent the money on, etc., to do the fire doors, do the smoke alarms, etc., etc. So now it's 5 bedrooms. Let's just say each bedroom rents for £600 a month. Yeah? That's £3,000 a month. The uplift, it could rent for £3,000. But the rent used to be £1,000. Their mortgage probably hasn't really changed much, and now it's gone down by 0.25%. I've got some mortgages. Let me give you an example to give you an idea of what they're paying. I've got some mortgages which are a lifetime tracker. I took a lot of them out with Northern Rock a long time ago. Yes, Northern Rock are gone, they went bust, and the whole portfolio was passed to another bank who bought the bad loans or the black loans or the Yeah. Oh, my laptop's going to standby. Yeah, they bought the black loan book or the red loan book, whatever they call them, where they were negative, okay, or problems, and the bank went bust. Now, another mortgage company took it over because they went bust after the 2008 aftermath as well. So it's a lifetime tracker that I will not change under any circumstances. I will not change it. They've tried to offer me deals to get me out of it, to get me to refinance or release money or get onto a different rate and then, or get some money out of it, and then they're on or I'm now on their new rate. I'm not doing that because it's so low. It costs me about £100 a month. It's so low, okay? Now, that's a HMO property that I converted a long time ago, which brings in a lot of money. So I pay £100 or £100 a month, and I collect about $2,300 a month on that property every single month. So that's because when it was a house on its own, it only rented for about £750 a month. But now it's a 5-bedroom HMO with 5 rooms. Each room is $109 a week, 47233 a month. 109 a week. Yeah, 47233 a month. Quick maths. Click clack. Skitty cat cat. Quick maths. So so that brings around about 2,300, just under a month, okay? So going back, I digressed a bit there, but I hope it makes sense, this story I'm trying to explain. So landlords, the rent or the mortgage may only be about £600, £700, £800, £900, right? On that house, which is now 5 bedrooms, bringing in £3,000 a month when it's fully occupied in the right climate, 5 rooms. So the uplift is about £2,000. They've now got a massive margin. If they just need their rent covered or their mortgage covered and a bit of profit, they've got a massive margin, okay? When they've got a massive margin, what do they want? They don't want any evictions. They don't want the hassle. They don't want to not be someone not paying the rent for, or 5 separate tenants all not paying the rent at the same time for, 3 months, and then maybe it's 5 more months to evict them. They don't want the hassle. They may just want their mortgage covered right now. I know at times like this what people need, because I've been through it before, and if they're happy that they've got their income over here or they got their job over here, these landlords, some of them, they just want their mortgage covered, especially right now. They don't want the hassle, they don't want the bad credit, they don't want the blemishes on their record. They may want to buy again in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, next year, or right now. They don't want to be missing mortgage payments, and they also don't want to be putting their own money in to pay the mortgages if they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of these properties. That's where you come along with this particular strategy, where you can rent the properties and there's a massive margin for you to get that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75% discount that we have and we are getting. And that's what we're looking for and shopping for right now. We've done many of these deals already. We've done many of these deals last year as well at a small window in the market, in the student market. We did this because it only works at that small window last year, where all the students are in at the universities, and now there's still a massive glut of properties on the market that haven't rented in bad condition, because the students then could go and get a brand new student box with an ensuite and then a communal games room and the lift, and it's brand new and modern, and there's a community in there for more or less the same price or a tiny bit more than what this landlord is renting the property for, and there's a mattress just thrown on the floor in the corner because they've had it too good for too long and the market has changed. So it's then at the right time, all about timing, where we went in last year and just built a massive portfolio based on these, which is generating 5 figures. It's a 5-figure cash flow every single month on just some of the ones we picked up in a period of about 6, 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks at the end of last year. That one portfolio, all packaged up, boom. It's like a 5-figure sum every single month from that portfolio, because in that window, in that city, that's when it worked. Right now, guys, we're in the same place. That window of opportunity has come back and it's now. So I'm sharing it with all of you guys here. So if you just imagine, this is the largest transfer of wealth that's happening right now in 2020. So I'm sharing with you guys some tactics, some tips, these are the strategies. I can't even get my words out because I'm that excited. I'm that pumped about, sharing this with you guys because I know this has the power to change your life. It has the power to change my life and anybody's life who's listening to this content, who is looking for the unlock, who's looking for the quick wins, who's looking for the opportunities, or just maybe they're panicking how to feed their families, and now they're having the aha moment, like, hold on a minute. That thing that Ryan Otto said on that It's Just Business podcast, it makes sense. And I can see that this is going to turn our lives around. This family, we're going to be able to eat now. We're going to be able to pay the bills now. We're going to be able to keep our heads above water because I've lost my job over here. I've been laid off. We're in the house. I have no idea of how we're going to get through next month. But what I've listened to this guy on this podcast, it's giving me goosebumps now thinking, because I've been in these moments. I've been in that life. I've had nothing. I've had everything, and I've lost everything. Where I lost my wife, lost my children, lost my home, lost my liberty. Lost all the money that I'd earned and built up by being an investor in property for just over a decade, which was a lot, okay? It was a lot, trust me. I had my, not to boast or anything, but I bought my dream car, which is like the Lambos they buy today. I bought a 911 Carrera 2S, a beautiful Porsche, okay, which was my dream car because I was a petrol head, bit of stock cars and go-karts and motocross racing. So I love the engine and the power and the rear engine and the rear wheel drive. So that's why I bought that particular car, C2S. So that was my dream car. Not that that's important and not to boast. I lost much more valuable things, which I just said. But some of you may relate to that more. That's just society. But I lost everything. Everything. And I had to make a comeback. And I was sent to prison. I was sent to prison for a crime that my lifelong friend committed. And I went to prison for nearly 5 years. So I've lost everything. And that was only a few years ago. So I've had to come out of jail with nothing. And I was in around £175,000 of debt starting out. And it was this strategy, or an amalgamation of this strategy with other strategies that I used, and a bit from this one and a bit from another one and a bit that worked at that time, and ways to get cash flow in quickly and move the cash somewhere else into some other high cash flowing properties. But it's these strategies that I'm sharing with you right now were the things that saved me. So it gives me goosebumps when I'm talking about this right now, because I know how it is. I've been through the struggles, and many of the rest of the people in the world have been through these struggles, and things are bleak, things are bad, and I don't want, for lack of having access to information, if that's all it is, having the access to the information and having the confidence to do it, which I'm hoping that you get from listening to these episodes, this podcast, I would like to deliver that. I'd like to bring that. I'd like to help you guys with that. I'd like to support you guys with that. I'd like to, hear your story. I'd like to hear that this is the aha moment. This is the unlock for you. So it does give me goosebumps, and it resonates with me just when I'm talking about this, how I understand how things can be that bad and are that bad, where people are thinking, I don't know how I'm going to feed my family next month. I can't go out doing all the hoarding and the stockpiling of buying pasta and rice and tin food and things like that, just because they haven't got the money now, because the companies laid them off. They were good, up until a month ago. Now they're bad because nobody saw this coming. So yeah, that resonates with me. So I just hope that you guys are getting some value from this content, and this can impact your lives and help you guys in a much better way, just by having access to this information, which is 100% free. So there's landlords out there right now which are looking for solutions. They're looking for help. They're looking for creative people. They're looking for something that they may not even know exists at the moment, which is the perfect tenant. We become the perfect tenant. You guys now know how to become the perfect tenant. You just need to go on the internet, look on Rightmove, look on all the property portals for properties advertised to rent. Just call them up, if they're private, of course. If they're not private, there's ways of finding who owns the property. So you can find them, contact them, find their phone number. You can even find their address. Okay? Now, I'm going to share a little bit later in this episode, some other tactics of how you can find all of those details to put all the pieces together and, all the moving elements that you need. And obviously find all the pieces to the puzzle that you guys need, okay? Now, you just contact those guys, either through an agency, we get them through an agency all the time, or direct, and you'll just say, I want to rent this property from you. I understand it was up for however much. I completely understand what's going on in the market and you're nervous, etc. about the rent controls and the protection from eviction, which is in place now or about to come in, or you're worried that I might lose my job. And then it's the case of it takes 5 months to evict me, so you'll have no money. I understand all of that, which is why I'm prepared to rent the property on different terms, which is a completely different contract, which falls outside the Housing Act because I'm a company. So my company, we want to rent it on a company-let basis, which falls outside the Housing Act. So that means if I don't pay the rent, it doesn't matter how much I earn, it's irrelevant. Because if I pay 1 month's deposit and 1 month's rent in advance, you've got 2 months rent from me. We can have in the contract a 14-day period, or even 7 days. I'll tell you what, even 3 days. Bring it down to 3 days. Because if I don't pay the rent, you can terminate the contract, usually 14 days. You want to bring it down to 7 days, I'll even do the deal at 3 days. There's no eviction. But on that basis, I'm prepared to offer this figure. You're also immune from any of the rent controls or evictions that comes in place because I'm happy to take it outside the Housing Act. Okay? I'm a company. I'm going to rent the rooms out to individuals, or I'm going to put my own tenants in there, or I'm going to take short-term tenants or mid-term tenants, etc., because that is my company. We're a relocation company. We work with contractors that need properties, so we pay the rent, whether it's empty or not, and then we put our own people in there. Staff, relocation. Some people come for a week, some people come for a month, some people come for 3 months. That's how you would be having these conversations. And based on that, and based on the climate and the market, I understand my offer's slightly lower, but it's lower because it actually works out to be no risk at all, and it's guaranteed, and it's higher in the long run with no stress, no hassle. Maybe they'll give it to you for the full term of 1 year, 3 years, 5 years at that price. Maybe they will agree that they'll do it for 6 months. Maybe they'll agree they'll do it for 12 months. Maybe it will start at 6 months and then it will increase gradually to a different rate. As long as you can get money off the headline price using these terms and tactics, that's where you create the uplift, because then you would just find a tenant. There's other strategies, other tips, which I'm sharing in other episodes of how you then go and find the tenants. I can't share it all in one episode. This is nearly an hour already. And I share some tips and strategies how we then go and find those tenants that would pay us a lot more money for the property, even now in the current climate. Okay? Now, you're probably thinking, when can this really be used? Right now. It's right now in 2020. We're in March. There's a window of opportunity where this works right now. And like I said before, if you focus on the HMO properties that are fully licensed, that have rooms, 5 rooms, 6 rooms, 7 rooms, 8 bedrooms, etc., fully licensed, up and running, it's where you make the most money, because those landlords have a bigger margin to give some of that rent away or to accept a much lower figure. We've got some properties which would rent for about 4,000, just over 4,000 a month, and we picked some of those up for 1,000. Is it 1,750? It's 1,750 a month, and it used to rent for just over 4,000. We've got another one which is 6 bedrooms, and it used to rent at 6 5s of 30, about 3,250 off the top of my head, very close, within 50 or 75 pounds. And we pay 1,100 a month for that. 6 bedrooms, fully refurbished, empty. just refurbished. They missed the market. 3 bathrooms, 2 floors, 6 rooms, fully tenanted now. We picked up another one. Let me think. What was the other one? Okay, this one was in quite bad condition, so we did a little bit of work to it. It needed some TLC, but it's for that exact reason that it was available. Because nobody wanted it. Because it was in bad condition. So yeah, I might have spent, I don't know, £1,000 doing this one up. Slight decoration, some beds and some other things that it needed. It was, 90% furnished, but some of the stuff had to go because it was crap, which was why it hadn't rented. Picked that up for 900. That's 5 bedrooms, and that rents for about 2,500. It's a £1,600 margin. Okay, because the landlord was happy to have the mortgage covered because they missed the market. Happy to have the mortgage covered. And they included the broadband, I remember. They included the internet as well. That's just some deals I'm just reeling off that we've done recently. There's many more deals, and there's a lot more deals that we're looking for. As long as you have access to this information, and you understand what's possible, that it can work, okay? So if you're thinking the positive opportunities, right? Because it's literally times like this right now where fortunes are made. Or you can just provide for your family. Some people want to generate wealth right now while you can, because you can make the most money in these climates. Some people just want to replace their salary, £28,000 a year, feed their family, not have the stress. And this is exactly how you can do it, guys. Now, you do need to act fast because you can right now build a financial wall around your family as long as you act fast. So you can look after and provide for your loved ones, because the discounts that we're achieving right now that I just shared with you are up to 75% right now. That's up to 75%. It's just by timing the market, which is now. I want all of you guys to have the confidence that you can do this. Reach out to me, find me on social, anywhere, Ryan Otto, just, find me on social, ask some questions. I'm on all the social platforms. I'm happy to, answer some questions from you guys, or maybe just leave a question as a podcast review. Ask the question in the review, obviously, if you're listening on the podcast, and I'm happy to answer that for you. So make sure you leave your contact details on there, or your Twitter handle, or your email address, or one of your social profiles, or just your name, so I can obviously get back to you guys and just answer your question if you got any questions, because now is the time. The largest transfer of wealth is happening right now. And I don't want any of you guys to lose out, or not take the risks now and then lose out on that largest transfer of wealth that's happening right now, okay? Because if you're too slow, or you take too long, or you're panicking, or you're listening to the guy down the pub, well, that's if you can still go to the pub. They're closed, sorry. If you're listening to the wrong people getting advice at the wrong place, or you think it's too risky, just think about it. If it's a HMO that you look for, that used to rent at £3,000 a month, you're picking it up at around £1,000 a month, there's a massive margin. You only need to have 2.5 rooms rented. If it's 5 rooms, there's 2.5 more, which is the profit. So even if you only had 2.5 rented, or you reduce the prices slightly, you can still easily make £1,000 a month out of just one of these deals, being very, very conservative. If you think £1,000 net a month, what that would do for you, imagine what that would, do for your family right now, an extra £1,000 a month coming in. What would your life look like? Pretty cool, hey? It doesn't cost a lot of money to get into these deals. 1 month's rent down, 4 weeks rent as a deposit. You can even negotiate that down because of the market we're in right now. It's not many tenants that will be taking these. You want the whole building, remember. You don't want to take just one room. You want the whole building. All 5 rooms, all 8 rooms, all 6 rooms, all 5 rooms. However many there are, you want the whole building. Okay? Now, if you guys think too small, you're going to miss out on these opportunities because they're here right now. Now, my only fear is that you guys literally just don't do anything after listening to this talk or this episode, because the greatest transfer of wealth, which the billionaires of today, The stock market gurus of today, which have stood the test of time over the years, will say to you the largest transfer of wealth is happening right now in markets like these, where the market is crashing, where people are panicking, is where the opportunities are. Doing the opposite to the masses, being smart and having access to the right information. Now, I just hope that you guys got some value from this talk, and I really hope that you've heard it in a way that you actually really hear what I'm saying, and you actually have the confidence to know that this is real. This can be done. This can save you. This will save you. This can increase your income. This can provide another income stream. This could bridge the gap. This could keep the walls from the door. This could just keep your family and your household going in this difficult time. It's not easy. It's not a button that you push. It's not going to be just as simple as ringing the first person and you get the deal. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes some commitment, but you have lots of time on your hands now. You should have lots of energy and that hunger and that desire and that fire in your belly to pull yourself through this, right? So I'm hoping that you guys heard this in the right way. So I just hope that you guys got some value from this episode, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, you can, find me on social and, leave a comment. You can, or ask a question, or you can even ask the question in the comments here on, whatever platform you're listening to this on, or whatever platform you're watching this video on, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, a little clip, whether it's any of the podcasting platforms. I would love to hear your thoughts. In these uncertain and difficult times, having the right tactics and strategies at the right time is how anybody gets to secure their financial future. The largest transfer of wealth is happening right now. I want to give you all the resources and the reassurance at no cost that guarantees you will win and profit from the property and economic crash today. Imagine what your business and your life will look like when you use the right tactics and strategies to pull you and your family through these difficult times, which is exactly what these tactics did for me and my clients and my loved ones after the 2008 crash. Now, I completely understand that money will be harder to find, which is why these strategies I'm giving you are no money down, or very little money down, so minimal risk. And you don't even need to buy a single property to earn an additional £1,000 plus per calendar month and a 5 or even a 6-figure lump sum when the economy bounces back. Today you can get this training and the advantage for free that the so-called gurus would charge you thousands of pounds for. Just visit www.propertycrashcourse.com so you have all the tools, the tactics, the resources, and the reassurance to keep the cash flowing into your family and your business when you understand exactly how to profit in a property and economic crash. My friends, don't lose your advantage by doing nothing after listening to this talk.